Good morning today. So we have today uh, flexural stresses that we can say as bending stresses. So mainly we are with axial stresses when we have member as axial members, and when we have flexural member, when we will talk about member, that member is across shear force and bending moment. When we will talk about axial members, then that members have axial force. So when you have axial force, that means my force is acting along the longitudinal axis of the member, and I have axial stresses. When my force is perpendicular to the longitudinal axis of the member, then that will create shear force and bending moment. See, in case of axial, it is along the axis, and in case of flexural, it is perpendicular to the axis. And when it is perpendicular to the axis, it will develop shear force and bending moment. And as it develops shear force and bending moment, so shear stresses and bending stresses are developed. Now we will go first derivation, and then we will go for the problems. Now you can see we have first diagram, you can see we have beam before bending, we have rectangular beam and some concentrated load we have acted on the beam. And after acting of this concentrated load, beam bends in this direction. So beam bends, and if you see carefully, upper part goes in compression and lower part will goes in tension. So in case of simply supported beam. But if you talk about cantilever beams, in case of cantilever beams, if you take any pen in your hand, or refill better if you will keep in your hand, and if you apply load on other end, then you will realize you will have stresses tensile at top in case of cantilever and compression at bottom, but exactly reverse when we will talk about simply supported beams. Now we have assumptions. Then assumptions, you can say a transverse section of the beam which is plane before bending will remain plane after bending. Just we have seen when we will apply load, beam bends, but our section also bends, but we are assuming this section remains rectangular. If my beam is rectangular in cross section, then after bending also my cross section it is rectangular, remains rectangular. If that cross section is circular, remains circular. Then we have next assumption, the material is homogeneous, isotropic, and it obeys Hooke's law. So obeys Hooke's law means my stress is directly proportional to strain. Now the Young's value of the Young's modulus is the same for the beam material in tension as well as in compression. So we have, if you remember in your plastic analysis, we may have values of Young's modulus different in tension and compression. But in this, we are going to consider both of Young's modulus, that is in tension as well as in compression, we have same values. The beam is initially straight and of constant cross section. Means initially we do not have any rotation for the beam. Beam is horizontal. And the plane of loading must contain a principal axis of the beam cross section, and the load must be perpendicular to the longitudinal axis of the beam, just I mentioned. So in case of flexural members, your load should be perpendicular to the longitudinal axis of the beam. So we have these assumptions. So now if we will go to the derivation. Now in this derivation, as this is relate with your flexure, that means bending moment. So in that region, my shear force should be 0. Now you can see the diagram. We have this diagram. we have left also V, we have right also V, and we have moment M on left side, and again M on right side. One on left side we have clockwise, on right side we have anti-clockwise. So whenever you will go for derivation of this, you have to consider the portion where my bending moment is constant, and we know when bending moment is constant, shear force is zero, because shear force is rate of change of bending moment. So we have one question in quiz. So we have first portion, that is rectangle, and then we have that is trapezoidal. So when your portion is rectangle with constant value of 100, then what will be my shear force in this zone? So definitely zero, because rate of change of bending moment is zero. Finally zero, initially zero. Divided by span, that will give me shear force. But both values, initial, final are 100, so become zero. But if we will go to the second part, so I have final as 200, initial as 100. So we have 200 minus 100 divided by 2. Then I will get that value of shear force as 50 kilonewton. So we have in this way. So here when I will talk about flexure, so we have only bending moment. So my bending moment should be constant in that portion, and we do not have any shear force. And that condition is known as pure bending or simple bending. Now we will consider a section, and in that section, last we have seen, we have considered the section where we have this portion A, B and C, D. And now we will consider that larger view of that portion, and in that larger view, we are going to get A, B, C, D. We have considered one layer which is at a distance Y from the GH layer, that is from the center. At a distance Y we have EF layer. Now you can see we have applied load to it and then it bends. So now when it bends, you can see we have clockwise moment on left and anti-clockwise moment on right. And now you can see your layer which are below the center, below GH, these layers goes in tension, and the layers which are above GH, that goes in compression. But your layer GH, that will not suffer with any stress, means the length of this GH before bending and after bending remains the same, and therefore your stress is zero in this level, and this layer is known as layer or neutral axis or neutral plane. Now you can see this. Consider two adjacent sections AB and CD separated by small distance dx as shown in figure. Because of the bending, sections AB and CD rotate relative to each other by an amount theta. Now fiber AC, now see very carefully, we have top AC, at the top gets shortened, while fiber BD, which is at bottom, that gets elongated. Somewhere we have GH, which is not going to change in length, and that layer is known as neutral layer, and the line of intersection of neutral layer and cross section of the beam is called neutral axis, abbreviated as NA. So whenever hence after we are going to write down NA, it shows your neutral axis. Now we can go derivation. So strain. So you can see this. So I will go this. We have diagram over here. Then it becomes C for you. So we have strain of layer EF. Now see, you have EF layer. So at a distance Y. So now we are going to find strain. So we have change in length upon original length. Change in length. We have EF, E1 F1 minus EF. That will be my change in length. Upon original length is EF. And that is equal to now E1 F1. So we have at a distance Y. So what will be that length? We have R plus Y, and that is into theta. What will be length of GH? We have R theta. So that is of circle. We have any portion, any arc we will going to consider, and we have theta angle subtended by that arc, and R is radius. Then I will get that length as R theta. Same concept we have applied over here. So we have R plus Y theta minus R theta upon R theta. And when you solve this, you will get y by r. So what is strain actually? In your limit of Hooke's, we have strain equal to sigma upon E. So now by using equation 1 and 2, we are going to get it as E by R is equal to sigma by Y. Means first equation we have Y by R, second equation we have sigma by E. So we have rearranged the terms, and that we will give, that gives us sigma by Y is equal to E by R. This is first part of your flexural formula. Now if we will go to the second part, now that is relate with your moment of resistance. Now what is moment of resistance? Moment of resistance, we know what is moment, force into distance. So in the same way, we have y into df. Y distance we have from neutral axis of that segment, that is EF. So now we have Y into dF. What is dF? Force is stress into area. Now we know what is stress. So we have considered stress as sigma at that level. And what is area? Let us, we are going to consider that area is dA. Now but we know what is formula for sigma. So just if you will see from this, we have taken the value of sigma, which will be E by R into Y, and that value we have substituted in this equation, and by substituting this you will get y upon r into E by substituting sigma equal to y by r into E. And if you simplify it, then we will get E by r into integration y square dA. What is integration y square dA? That is second moment of area, and second moment of area is known as moment of inertia, and I will get mr equal to E by r into I. Now where we have I is equal to integration y square dA, but we know our bending moment that should always be less than or equal to moment of resistance, or moment of resistance should be greater than or equal to bending moment. So mr, minimum value of m, therefore mr equal to m we have considered in this equation, and by this I will get m by I equal to E by r. So I we have taken on left side, and this is my equation B. So if we will combine this equation A and equation B, then we are going to get this formula which is known as flexural formula. And this flexural formula, most important, m by I is equal to E by r equal to sigma by y. So my whole bending stresses is only based on this formula. We have to just rearrange, we have to just apply it properly to the given problems. So if I apply it properly to the given problems, then we can solve problems very easily. Now in this you keep in mind, whenever we will go for plotting of bending stress and shear stress, we always confused. My stress diagram is parabola or my stress diagram is linear line. Now keep in mind, here we have bending, B-E-N-D-I-N-G. So last two words you can see, that is I-N, and you can see linear. So we have L, after L I have IN. So you have to keep in mind last two words, actually G is there, but if we will leave G and we will keep in mind last two word IN, then we have after L IN. So always keep in mind my linear, that means that relate with your bending. Now you go shear. So we have shear and parabola. So last two letters you can see, we have SHEAR, AR, and parabola we have PAR. So last two letters and second and third letters, keep in mind in that fashion. So we never forget my line is linear line or my curve is parabola. So simply last two words, actually G we have to leave, and that will always keep you in mind my curve is linear line or my curve is parabola. Now go to first problem. Draw bending stress distribution diagram for rectangular beam with width 250 mm. Depth 500 mm as shown in figure. Bending moment on this section is 10 kilonewton meter. So now we have this B, we have given 250 and depth we have 500 millimeters. Now we have this, so neutral axis is at center, which is 250 millimeter. Now we will go to the problem and we will draw the bending stress diagram. So this is the simplest problem. So simply we have to go for m by I is equal to sigma by y. Now I we know for rectangular section we have BD cube by 12. So B is 250, D is 500. So calculating this we will get value of I. So from this I will get value of I equal to 10.41 into 10 raised to 6 millimeter to the power 4. Now M is given. So sorry, that M is given as 10 kilonewton meter. So that should be 10 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per millimeter. Now we have substituted this value. So 10 into 10 raised to 6 upon I we have 10.41 into 10 raised to 6, which is equal to sigma upon 250. Why is 250? That is farthest fiber from the neutral axis. So we have same, that is in tension and compression, because we have symmetrical section, and from this I will get value of sigma, that is equal to 240.15 Newton per mm square. Now we have this linear line because just we have seen when we have bending. So IN we have linear, L after L I have IN. So bending linear. So we have this diagram, that is bending stress diagram, and we have values. Top generally we have compression, bottom we have tension in case of simply supported beam. If we have cantilever beam, then we have top tension, we have bottom compression. So this is first problem, which is simple, where you have to plot bending stress diagram. Now we will go to the second problem. So now in this we have given a simply supported beam of length 4 meter carries UDL 5.8 kilonewton per meter. Calculate maximum bending stress due to load Q if the beam has a rectangular cross section B140 and H240. Now see, change there, bending moment is given. Here we have to calculate bending moment. So when a simple problem loading is given, simply supported beam with UDL, we did not require to draw SFD and BMD. We know for simply supported with UDL, what is my bending moment? WL square by 8, and I can use it directly. Now first I again in the same fashion, BD cube by 12, 140 into 240 cube by 12. So we will get this value as 161.28 into 10 raised to 6 millimeter to the power 4. Now M is not given, so I will simply use WL square by 8. W is given 5.8, span is given 4. So calculating this value, I will get this bending moment as 11.6 kilonewton meter. So this value is kilonewton meter, and we have to take whenever for bending stress, that value is in Newton millimeter. So knowing value of M, knowing value of I, why I know, again rectangular section, so 120, neutral axis will be at center. And when you put these values in the equation, that will give you value of sigma, and that is 8.63 Newton per mm square. And we can plot it. Again, I always repeating it. Whenever we have bending stress, my curve should be linear. We have to keep in mind last two letters. So before G we have two letters, that is NG, and here we IN, and here we have L. After L we have IN. So we have linear line for bending stresses. So now we will go to third. Now in third problem we have circular section. Now a 50 mm diameter bar is used as simply supported beam 3 meter long. Determine the largest UDL that can be applied over the right 2/3 of the beam if the flexural stress is limited to 50 MPa. Now first two problems are simple. Just we have given M, or we have to calculate M. Just put in the formula, substituting values in the formula, I will get value of bending stress. Now But if we will go to competitive exams, we will not get so easy questions. So you have problems in this fashion. Actually problems are simple. You have to again go in the same fashion. We are not going to change anything. Now first we have to go for I, because cross section is given. So whenever cross section is given, I can directly calculate value of I. Now we have circular section. So bending stress diagram is given, because values are given, and when values are given, that means bending stress diagram is given. Again symmetrical sections, top bottom same. So we have 50 top, 50 bottom. What will be Y? So 50 mm diameter is given. So automatically my radius R is 25 millimeter. So my Y is 25 millimeter. Now we will go with this one. We will just find out first value. Formula we have again same. M by I is equal to sigma by Y. What is I for circular section? We have pi by 64 d to the power 4. So substitute values. Pi, d given is 50. So pi into 50 to the power 4 divided by 64. And that will gives me value of I. 306.79 into 10 raised to 3 millimeter to the power 4. Now we are interested to find out value of M, and then from that M I have to find out value of W. Now we will substitute these values in the equation of M by I into Y. M we do not know, I we know, sigma we know, and we know. So we have substituted these values. So just I told you Y 25 because that is R, and from this I will get value of bending moment, which will be 0.61 kilonewton meter. I have converted it into Newton millimeters. So M I have 0.61 kilonewton meter. So now what is given? So you just see in the problem, determine the largest uniformly distributed load that can be applied over the right 2/3 of the beam. Means 2/3 means how much? 2 meter on right side. So I have to plot beam, and here 2/3 means 2 meter right side W. So 2/3 of 3 is 2 meter, and we have to find out value of W, how much load it can resist. Now knowing value of W, once we have plotted this diagram, then we will find reactions. So moment about B0, then we have minus W into 2 into 1 plus RA into 3 gives me RA 0.67 W. Now once I know value of RA, I can find value of RB very easily, which will be 1.33 W, because total load is W into 2 W, and RA is 0.67 W. So automatically RB is 1.33 W. Now we have to find out bending moment, maximum bending moment, where it acts. Now maximum bending moment will act where shear force is 0. Now I need not require to plot actually shear force diagram. Now I can come from right side or I can come from left side. So it is easy from right side, because we have 1.33 W, that will be reaction, and W is UDL. So what will be shear force equation? So we have 1.33 W minus W into X, and automatically I will get value of X as 1.33 meters from B. So shear force equal to 0 at 1.33 meter from B. Because problem is from bending stresses. So if possible, we can find values directly. If not, then I have to go for shear force and bending moment. Now once I know the position where my shear force 0, I have bending moment maximum over there. Then I will calculate bending moment over there. So what I will get? 1.33 W into 1.33 minus W into 1.33 square by 2. And now I solve this. That will gives me maximum bending moment 0.88 W kilonewton meter. And I know what is value of bending moment from equation we got, that is 0.61 kilonewton meter. So we have to equate these two. 0.88 W should be equal to 0.61. So we have substituted 0.88 W is equal to 0.61. That will gives me W is equal to 0.69 kilonewton meter or 690 Newton per meter. So problem given, you have to understand, you have to act according to the given data. So given, you have to write down, you have to start to solve the problems, and then automatically ways you will find. If you think how we will solve this, can we solve in this fashion, then you will not get it. If you start to walk, then ways are there. If you think how we will go, then ways are not there. So we have to start whatever data we have, we will solve, and automatically we are going to get the formulas, we are going to get the ways, and we will reach to our goal, we will reach to our answer. So this is third problem formula. This is third problem. Now we will go to the fourth problem. So we have taken each problem separately. Now this beam is given. So determine the minimum height h of the beam shown in figure if the flexural stress is not to exceed 250 MPa. See, first problem, everything is given. Simply you have to draw bending stress diagram. Moment is also given. Second, moment you have to find out, and then you have to plot bending stress. Third, you have to find out load, and bending stress is given. Fourth, you have given loading, you have given bending stress, and you have to find out depth, that is value of h. So now you can go with section is given 80 and height h. This data is given, loading diagram is given, section is given. And now we will start. Again we have formula, m by I is equal to sigma by y. Now in this we have to first find out reaction. Then after reaction we have to find out shear force diagram. After shear force diagram we have to find out bending moment. And then we have to go for h. So we have taken moment about B0. So now we have minus 2.5 into 4 into 2. We are taking moment about right support. So at right support, so we have total UDL 4 meter. So 2.5 into 4, where it will act at center, and into 2. So need not require to worry. We have reaction at 1 meter. That is in upward direction. We are talking about UDL, which is upper part. And there 2.5 into 4 will act at center, 2 meters. So 2.5 into 4 into 2. Minus 5 into 2, and that should be actually not minus R1 into 3, that should be plus R1 into 3. So if we will take plus R1 into 3, then I will get value of RA actually, that is first support, and R2 we have second support, and that will gives me value of RA equal to 10 kilonewton. Now once I know RA 10 kilonewton, so R2 or RB we have 5 kilonewton. So first support is RA, which is R1, and second we have RB as R2. And now we know these reactions, then you can find easily shear force diagram. So shear force diagram actually we have to plot first. So we have started from left. So at A we have 2.5 into 1. So 2.5. We have RA 10 kilonewton. So 2.5 we will get 10 upward. So 10 minus 2.5, 7.5. Then till concentrated load we have 2.5 into 1 again. So 2.5 into 1, that means 2.5. So 7.5 minus 2.5, 5. At 5 we are again 5. So we will go down 5. So it becomes 0. Then we have 2 meters, 2.5 into 2, again 5. We will go down, and we have RB, that is R2, 5. Again we will go up. Means where I have shear force 0. So diagram itself shows that at 2 meter we have shear force is 0. Now maximum bending moment. So maximum bending moment will be under the load. So we have 5 into 2 that we have taken from right side, because that is simple one. So 5 into 2 minus 2.5 into 2 square by 2, and I will get maximum bending moment equal to 5 kilonewton meter. So once I know maximum bending moment, then I have I BD cube by 12, 80 into H cube by 12, and I will substitute all values in the equation. M by I is equal to sigma by Y. M we have 5 into 10 raised to 6, 5 kilonewton meter just we have seen. I we have just calculated 80 H cube by 12. sigma we have 25, and y we have h by 2, because we have rectangular section again. And when you solve this for h, I will get value of h 122.47 millimeter, that is approximately 123 millimeters. So this is value of h, that is depth of the cross section. So this is fourth one. And then we have last problem. Now this problem, a beam having cross section in the form of a channel as shown in figure. It is subjected to bending moment about xx. Calculate the thickness T of the channel in order that the bending stresses at the top and at the bottom of the section will be in the ratio 7:3. Now we think how we will find I. T is not given, or we have to find value of I in terms of T. No, if you will go that in terms of T, then you will get cubic equation in T. Now problem that is given, bending stress ratio 7:3. Now from this, I am in position to find out neutral axis, because 7 is given, 3 is given. Total height is 250. And from this, if I will say y be the distance from top of the neutral axis, then bottom I have 250 minus y. So using similar triangles, I am in position to determine value of y. Now summation ay bar upon summation a, that will give us neutral axis. So we are taking it from bottom. So why we are taking it from bottom? Because it becomes easy. Otherwise I always prefer from top. But we have to see the problems where we will have easy calculations to determine the values. So now here I have taken about bottom. So we have summation ay bar. So we have taken two rectangles, 250 into t. So 2 into 250 into t into, now from bottom centroid is 125 plus. Now we have taken the portion which is between the two verticals, 250 into t. So that remains 600 minus 2t into t, and centroid of this portion from bottom, that is t by 2, divided by total area 2 into 250 into t plus 600 minus 2t into t. Now from this we have y bar, and from this bending stress also we are going to get y bar. So we equate these two, unknown we have only t. So now we will go for first from bending stress. So now we have y upon 250 minus y equal to 7/3. That ratio is given. And knowing this, I am in position to find out value of y. So we have cross multiplication, and that will give me value of y equal to 175 millimeter. Now I know total depth of channel is 250. So this y is from top. So what is y from bottom? So 250 minus 175. So we have y from bottom 75, because y bar by using summation a bar upon summation a, we have taken from bottom. So I have to find my value of y from bottom. So we have value of y from bottom, that is 75. And now we have equated this 75 with your summation a bar upon summation a. Now here you have to take 75, because we have to take value of neutral axis from bottom, because from top it becomes difficult, and therefore we have taken from bottom. Now if you solve this, so after solving this, we are going to get cross multiplication 750 into 500 plus 600 minus 2t equal to 62500 plus 600t minus t square. Now on right side we have cancelled t from all the terms. Keep in mind, t we have deleted, or I can say cancelled from denominator and numerator, because we have t in each term. And now we have simplified this. By simplifying, you are going to get this equation as 82500. We have multiplied, and we, after multiplication, we have solved this. And after this, I will get a quadratic equation in terms of t, and that quadratic equation gives me value of t equal to 50 millimeters. So we have different types of problems, but my formula is only one, which is m by I is equal to sigma by y. I have not taken much problems from shear force and bending moment. Why? Because in bending stresses and shear stresses, we require this. Now we have solved 5 problems. So I am not go more than this one, because already you can see time is 35 minutes. And to upload these videos of higher time becomes problem in YouTube. And you also becomes bored when video is too lengthy. So we have this bending